Flippity piece.
Buy a switch tester.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck. That was Chewy.
What's up, dude?
he's here.
Dude, what's up, guys?
All I'm saying is, I got it. If you could hear that, can I get a slap of the bass in the
Slap
chat?
the bass. We're also gonna need an emote of like a bass being slapped by Dixie. So if you're an artist and you want to make Dixie playing the bass as an emote and you want it on our channel, show us what you got.
I just realized that on my pants that I'm wearing, they're joggers, and one of the like tie things is just gone. It's just not there.
Just boom. Just peace.
Dude,
national championship is tonight.
National champion.
I've
Go.
got ESPN like right here. That's how focused on the stream I am.
But welcome everyone. Welcome Talisman Solutions, Stash, Builds Boards, Fropsy, the Containment Unit, Metallic Charles, Jerk Chicken. How you doing? Mechs, I saw you in here earlier. Thank you to Brez as well as Talisman Solutions for the resubs. Appreciate it very, very much. Oh, I see you, Mechs. You heard content? There's some content.
That national championship in sports ball.
Sports ball.
Collegiate sports ball.
It's been quite a lot of sports ball.
Dude, go Packers. Anyway, quick shout out to our sponsors. You can go to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com to go pick up GMK Burgundy Round 3 with some X additions. Get that Dixie Mech X logo. Not going to be a lot of Burgundy ones slipping around, so get it just for that cat. Consider using our link to help out the channel. But yeah, GMK Burgundy, definitely a awesome set that you will probably regret not getting. Straight up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great set. Next up, we have switchmod.net. You can go to switchmod.net/mechsondeck. They're running GMK Metaverse V2 starting on Saturday, I believe. Definitely go pick that up. The 18th, it goes live.
Yep.
I totally forgot that we were supposed to announce.
Oh, yeah. More news on that in a second. Next up, Zap Cables. So, Zap Cables makes some of, if not the, I'm just going to go ahead and say, the best cables in the community. He's going to be doing, he still has DIY kits, so you can definitely go get yourself a DIY kit. And then he is also going to be doing in-stock cables, which is kind of unheard of. So we sell foam cheese hats for now. Dude, fuck yeah. Go pack, go. Look at this.
I want a foam cheese hat.
Ugh. There it is.
Can I get if next time I get a cable, can I get it sent in a foam cheese hat? Like 2 foam cheese hats just like taped together?
Dude, I'm game ready. I'm game ready all week. So anyway, Zap Cables, like I said, makes the best cables. Be on the lookout for some new stuff from him. Very excited. Very excited to see what he has in store.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Project Keyboard, a new sponsor of the channel as of last week. If you are looking to pick up a Sirius, I believe he still has them in stock. He's also currently running the Tengu, which is a gasket mount Alice style layout board. We've got it in 4 colors, or well, 3 colors and a plastic. So polycarb, black, gray, and red. So pick that up. And if you are planning on picking up the Tengu or a Sirius extra, please consider using our link. Helps us out a lot. Really, when you use any of those links to purchase things from those said websites, it helps us out a little bit. You get a little kickback. So very appreciative of that.
And the Sirius Wind Keyless is the only one that's in stock, but go get it because Wind Keyless is the best 60% layout. Fight me. So look, boom, there it is. There it is. Look, oh,
Boom.
you know, he's got Wind Keyless. Oh, so do I. Guess what? This isn't a Sirius, by the way, but you know, Wind Keyless 60%. It's that easy. So But yeah. So our last up thing with switchmod.net, we'll be offering $5 off. It'll be a promo code for $5 off GMK Metaverse. This is the first time that I can think of with a group buy through him where you can actually get money off on a group buy. And we also have an interesting little competition that was kind of set up on accident by him. So we have two different links that we'll be posting. We'll be posting in the Discord once it gets closer to being live. We're gonna have a little Chewy versus Osiris, a little buy off, a little purchase off. So if you're planning on getting it and you want $5 off and you want to support the channel, you can go, I think it's like switchmod.net/Chewy or switchmod.net/Osiris.
Yeah.
You know what I'm banking on? I'm banking on the fact that people are going to type in the O instead of the 0.
Dude, I'm
or
just
mix
hoping,
that up and then be like, this, Chewy, easy.
I'm just hoping that people just maybe like, I'm going to try to maneuver things in a way to where I'm the only one doing build streams during that time. So I'll just promote only my link.
Good luck.
And then, but no, either way, definitely. Thank you, Mountain Blocks, for the 5-month resub. Appreciate it, my dude. But yeah, so it's a little fun competition where you can get $5 back off of GMK Metaverse if you're looking to purchase it. And you can also let us see how much more our community likes Chewy.
Listen, we'll figure out. We haven't really discussed just because we haven't really talked about because we have there. If we hit full transparency, if we hit certain numbers, we won't reveal those numbers. But if we hit certain numbers, we'll be giving away sets as well.
Yep.
So be sure to check that out. And we haven't really figured out like a winner loser. Like you got to do something. Like maybe like I get forced to use a 65% for like a month. Like I'll make Osiris use a desk pad while gaming. I don't know.
Dude, I won't do that. That's not even fair.
So we'll figure out something fun. Maybe if you guys in the chat hit us up in the Discord for ideas for the competition.
Yeah, but be on the lookout for that. It's really exciting. You get a set that's already pretty inexpensive for even less. So if you are considering GMK Metaverse R2, definitely consider using either of our links, preferably mine. But before we get into the topic, I think we've got some mail. We've got some mail. Chewy, you wanna go first?
I'll start. I don't have a whole lot. All
right, we're gonna take a trip on to the big Chewy. Big Chewy face cam. Boom.
All right, so not really a whole lot. We've all seen. I can show off one of the Switches, but I bought Switches relatively recently, and they finally came in. Zelios for a future build. Come on, focus. Get my face out of there. Boom.
There you go.
Zelio 78 gram V2s, that dark purple stem. Not for Zycos, just I will be rebuilding a board in the coming weeks. Pulled them out and lubed them yesterday, so they're all in a box in my closet. But that's not. I got two more things. One, not keyboard related. Boom. I don't know if you notice or if you even pay attention to the background. My wife got me this awesome picture of the dogs, which you've seen in the stream before. So shout out to her because my birthday was recent and I had an amazing birthday. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Also, yeah, I guess this is the first stream since I had an amazing birthday, and I want to say I got a lot of PMs in Discord, like way more than I ever thought, of just like people messaging me, making me feel better. It was a good feeling. So thank you, Osiris and Doodlebob, as well for throwing out the love in the Discord. So it was a solid board. But anyway, solid board and a solid day. I got this. The lighting's a little messed up. From CYO, the Ursa bear. Really liked it. It's got that green accent, so pretty cool. Guy does. I didn't even really know about him, and then I'd seen the caps, but I didn't really know him. And then he did a giveaway with us for our 24-hour stream, and I definitely started paying attention. So definitely was happy to get on that. And that is it, I think. Yeah. I got some cool like gear stuff coming in, because if you're wondering why everything's so lit behind me, it's because my light failed. So I've got some stream upgrades coming.
Some upgrade. Let me upgrade you.
So let's take it down a little, Chewy. Make Osiris nice and big.
Ooh. All right. So it's funny. Chewy's got pictures of his dog. I've got knives in my background. I just like thought about that. Nice little karambit.
Like Funkos, dogs, knives.
I've got Funkos, all my Overwatch Funkos. I have like all of the original ones. I don't have any of the newer ones. I need to get some newer ones. And then I have an M9 bayonet, an emerald, and a case hardened karambit from CS. But as far as mail, it's not really mail, because
hand delivered.
It was hand delivered. Actually, I got a couple things. So I got my Baka finally. Yay, Baka.
Baka.
Number 9. So, yes, I'm excited to get this Cerakoted, possibly powder coated. I don't know. We'll see. I'm like, the more that I look at it, I'm like, I kind of like the silver.
It's a solid silver.
Because it's like you said, it's basically a silver anno. I'm so confused what this episode is about. We're about
to get into it. We're just doing mail day,
We're
man.
doing mail day. And then up next, this will be for the build tomorrow. I got my space bars for GMK Waves from Chewy. We did a little trade a couple months ago, and hey, you have these, I want these, and we're both about to buy something. Why don't I just buy it and then we trade? So I got Wave space bars, and tune in tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time, same time, and I will be here building my OSA, which is the open source Alice. So come back tomorrow night and check that out. It's gonna be a good time. So, but that's it. And take a trip back to the other screen. Whoa, we're there.
Hell yeah, brother. So, well, sorry, my dogs are trying to kill each other. Anyway, so getting into the episode. So what we actually kind of discovered this sort of, and we were just talking about it. And we did our kind of like buyer's guide or kind of intro into the community. And we did that like 8 months ago. And while that, we don't want to appear like we're repeating stuff, but in reality, this community has grown and a lot of new options have come out. A lot more in stock items are happening. Number 9, there you go. So we just wanted to revisit it, talk about it, see what you guys think about it, as well as we did this as a straight to YouTube episode. But yeah, so the community has definitely changed for the better, I'd say, at least as a newcomer. I think there's some awesome things that have come out that I'm like, man, I really wish these were out whenever I had started, and whenever Osiris started as well. So let's dive into it.
Hello?
Am I muted?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right.
Okay. Sorry. You just like froze on your glasses like this for a second, and I was just like, did he freeze? Sorry, I was trying to fix some audio. I changed some audio things up, and so but yeah, so really for the last couple months, we've had some big things, especially in like linear switches. So I guess about 8 months ago, when we first did the episode, that was prior to any of the Duroc stuff really coming out. T1s were just a kind of a myth at that point. They were the talk of the town. We didn't have the alpacas, and we didn't have inks yet. Or if we did, they were just not as popular at that point. So, first up, I can't, just to let me upgrade you. So first up, we want to talk about switches. We want to talk about alpacas, inks, and maybe talk about some of other options in the community right now that you should get into.
Yeah. So, while I do believe that just like some of the higher quality switches, the price has just kind of increased. There's nothing wrong with like Cherry MX Blacks. A lot of people might tell you that they are bad, but if you lube them up, they're good. Gatoron Yellow is another great example of just like, I want a linear switch that works really well. Those are going to do great for you. Psychos are not a great beginner switch. And then, you are going to wind up, we've seen this like, okay, well, boards have gotten a little bit more inexpensive, especially to get a nice one. But switches have kind of gone up. But you know what? GMK keycaps have made their way back down as well, for a group buy at least. So it's kind of evening itself out. But if you want to get like a good high quality switch right off the bat, it's going to be about $2 for 10 switches more on average. But for people who like linears and people who want those super duper smooth switches, inks are a great switch. Creams are a great switch. Cream's also going to have that awesome, loud noise to it, that nice thok to it, where inks are going to be a little bit quieter. And then on top of that, we still have great options for tactiles. At the moment right now, Halo switches are out of stock and hopefully coming back. I can't imagine they won't come back, but their drops pretty sporadic on their updates. But you can do that with Trash Pandas, as Novel Keys stocks those a lot. And then we've even got, there's talk. We've got the new tactile Trash Pandas with a purple stem that feels solid once lubed. And then there's still talk of the town of cream tactile switches. So there's still just a lot of really good options. But the one thing is you're just going to have to spend a little bit more to get awesome switches. And then you want to go even further, Zelios.
Yeah, but it's nice though that you have so many options now. Like we had talked about it a couple weeks ago where we felt like a lot of the past couple of years, since box switches really kind of like made their mark on the scene, like pre-Boxgate, that like 6 months before that, where they were just cranking them out. There hadn't been a ton of switches, and then you go back and look at it, and you're like, oh well, we have tons of new linears. Like in the last year and a half, we've had a bunch of new, really nice linear switches come out. The purple Trash Pandas, I think, are a great option. It's only like $550 for 10. So that's an awesome switch that if you are comfortable with desoldering later and you want to get those now, take them out later and make holy pandas once you're able to, that's an awesome option. Especially if you're just starting out. Yeah,
and then holy pandas are kind of they are definitely in the north here today. We're starting to see some more stuff with Duroc is releasing lots of great switches, and then we just saw this palm stem nylon. I don't know the name of it, but it was on. I think it's a drop right now. It's like 110 switches for $70. So I haven't tried those, but we're seeing more and more, which is good because you want competition as much as possible. So, but with switches, there are a lot of great switches. Just get straight. You don't need two different switches to take apart. You don't need switch opening tools, any of that stuff. Like McNo says, MX Blacks are a great option. If you like linear boards, if not Geo's in the chat, sorry, bud. Sorry about you. I would suggest grabbing a switch tester. What I would specifically suggest, we are not sponsored by Novel Keys at all, but Novel Keys, you can actually go in and select what switches you want to try. So if you've heard some things, you can, I would, definitely ask around in the Discord. Switch tester is going to be great for weeding out a few, maybe saving you a couple extra bucks. Just to kind of weed out, if you're curious, if you're coming from a rubber dome and you just go, hey, I just want to know what's a good, 12 keys, 12 switches that I should try, hit us up in the Discord. We'll be happy to help you with making your selection. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to switches, they're not a lot of, if you're doing that 55 cents a switch, that once you hit that, you're not buying bad switches.
Everything above that's going to be pretty solid. I mean, there are outliers, but everything's pretty solid. And give box switches a try. They're not going to break your keycaps. They're pretty freaking cool. Very unique. Also, as someone in the chat, there is the Zeal Clicky coming out. I don't know if that's going to be a great option. I don't know what the expense of those will be. That's kind of a to be determined. But if you like Clicky, maybe try those out. Next up, you want to do boards? You can do boards.
You can do boards including PCBs. Start with PCBs.
I think this one still kind of stays the same for the most part as what we talked about before, which is really the best option for just starting out is really just KBD fans. Like, get yourself a Tofu, get yourself a KBD 67 Mark II, if you can. Even the 8X Mark II, if you can snag one of those, whether it's on the aftermarket or not, like, they're awesome boards. I know Chewy had one for a while and then let go.
Really just sold it to trade up. It wasn't. I mean, Osiris has talked about it a lot, but a great thing in this hobby is you can a lot of boards keep their value. Tofus are not going to really keep their value a whole lot. So don't think that you're going to be flipping a tofu anytime soon because they are in such abundance. Starstone, thank you very much for the subscription for 4 months. But yeah, other than that, there's, you have that upgrade potential. You have that next route you can take. And if you're someone who likes RGBs, you can get a lot of these in acrylic as well, or in polycarbonate. So you can still get that, like, oh, I need rainbows blasting in my face all the time. I get it. People like what they like. My wife loves RGBs. So there are just so many options over at KBD Fans. So, and for an inexpensive price, and you can get a lot of the switches that sometimes may or may not be found or might be out of stock. Oftentimes, some place like KBD Fans has a lot of those switches in stock. So,
I just want to point something out. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But I don't know if you saw the notification that just came through.
Yes. Oh, I did. I'm glad you're...
Rick Clack. Really?
Our mod, our top 3 Twitch bits donator.
Just followed the channel for the first time. Really, dude? Come on. Sure do love you, bud. But yeah, it's really, if you are looking to start out in a board, KBD Fans is the best place. If you're watching this video in January of 2020, I believe you can, like Chewy said, you can still go get, if you want something a little bit nicer, you can still go get a Sirius Wind Keyless. Fantastic board. It's a little bit step up from what you would get at KBD Fans, but it is a little bit different in the fact that it's Palm. But it's still a fantastic board. My board of 2019, Chewy's number 2, I believe. And
I think it was 3, but yeah.
3. It's still up
4.
there.
It was top 4.
And I don't know. I don't remember if the novel keys, the NK65 extras have gone up yet.
Not yet, but yeah, that was going to be my next suggestion. Is the Novel Keys in 65, another great board. They're trying to dip their fingers into the in stock boards. Hard to keep in stock though. It's some people say, oh, it's easy to keep things in stock. Or why isn't stuff in stock? Well, if you buy 400, it takes a long time to get 400 boards made and sent to you. And then if those 400 boards sell out in 20 minutes, and you're like, cool, like awesome, I'm glad I made the money, and I'm glad that I got 400 people their boards. But okay, 200, almost 200 keyboards in stock. It would not surprise me if those were gone in 2 days. So people love buying boards, especially in stock. That's like the easiest. Like, yep, click, go, let's do this. So another company that is really trying to focus on the in stock stuff is Canon Keys, with the Brutal and the Brutal 60 and the Savage 65. Also excellent boards. Very standard, very plain. They're not trying to rewrite the wheel with keyboards. They're just trying to get good layouts. Well, one good layout and one garbage layout. And they're trying to get that stuff out into the world, which is really, really awesome, that they're able to kind of push that stuff and get inexpensive boards out the door, and into the hands of the consumers. So, for a little bit more, you're able to kind of get a step up from a lot of stuff. One more board that I'll definitely shout out, the Clippa is on 1UP keyboards right now for like $155 shipped. So $50 more, you're getting the addition of the Fiel mounting style. So it's a tray mount with 2 removable screws. Rewrite the wheel. I do have, man, you have just like discovered my wife, which is the weird sayings that I say. Rewrite the wheel. We like rewriting the wheel. But so, that's another board that's like, oh, this is a fantastic board. And that's a board that, could very easily be a in-game board. So,
yeah. And then really, honestly, just if you are looking for something, if hey, I don't really know what to get into right now. I want something right now. Grab something from KBD fans and then get on all the discords of all these companies like Canon Keys, Novel Keys, get in Project Keyboards, get in all the different vendors, and then you'll be able to find out when extras go live, when their next buy goes live, so you can be kind of on the cutting edge of like, okay, I need to be ready to go. Because yes, Geek Hack is there, but it's kind of hard to stay on top of stuff unless you follow a bunch of posts, and then it clutters it up. But yeah, join the discords, you'll get pinged. You know what?
How does everyone keep track of all the discords? Honestly, it's tough. I'll be honest, like 100%. I think if you are brand new, you're probably deep diving. You're probably trying to absorb as much information as possible. But one thing you can do, just make sure your notifications on. 90% of the time, if they're announcing something big like that, like, hey, we've got extras coming up at this time, they're going to ping the channel. So just make sure that's on, and make sure you're paying attention to your pings. Newsletters are great. Instagram's another great one, to follow people that are, just check it once, twice a day. You'll be able to catch whenever stuff is going live. But yeah, that it seems like a lot, but you will hopefully and quickly find out kind of what you like, what you don't like, what companies you prefer using, and then follow those companies. One company that I follow very closely is 1UP Keyboards. I don't really talk about it that much, but they've got great stuff, and they've got great prices and stuff on things. They have a lot of options are free shipping. So, by all means, do what you can to, feel out the right companies. So,
yeah, absolutely. And honestly, what I do this is my personal, how I keep track of discords, server mute everything. And then just pay attention to pings. If a ping happens, then it's important. Okay. So, and that's personally how I do it because I'm in like 60 something discords, but yeah, also have all your, with discords being the way it is now, you can have your different folders. I just have one that's all vendors. I have one that's all vendors. I have one that's all the vendors that we are sponsored by, just so I know when they're putting out new stuff. And then I have one that's like all keyboard content creators, and then I have other ones for like people I watch in Overwatch, Counter-Strike, and other Twitch stuff. So find a way that works for you. But if you are connected into it, you're gonna be in the know. You're gonna know when things are gonna go live. Yeah, and don't be afraid to talk to people. That's the other thing. Don't be afraid to get involved in the community. Once you start getting involved in the community, then you'll have opportunities to join. You'll have opportunities to join maybe private buys, to join maybe in some things that aren't as public, maybe some things that are more selective. So just get involved. That's the other thing.
Yeah, there's another website that I want to give a quick shout out. This guy did a great job making kind of a hub to all of keyboards. It's sleekeyboards.com. Big shout out to that guy. So he spent a lot of time and a lot of effort kind of putting this keyboard hub, I guess, like, where do you go? What's on group buy right now? They've got content creators and links to different vendors and stuff like that. So that's another great website you can use to kind of really kickstart your deep dive into this wallet burning hobby.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an awesome like looking website. Like it's just cool to go on here and just kind of click around. He's done like Chewy said, he's done a great job of putting like the actual information of like when group buys have gone live, links to the Geek Hack, what the prices were, what the status are. Like I'm looking at the Austin right now, and it's got that the group buy extras should be available soon, which they will be. So yeah, definitely a cool website, and we're on it. Yay!
We are.
Stop at the base.
Oh, there it is.
He extended his tier 1 sub through February. Appreciate it, my dude. I've never seen that
I've
laid
never
out like that. Thank you for the 5 months tier 1 sub. PCB designers. Little self-shill by Gondo there.
So yes, the Austin is great. So you've and then outside of that, I mean, we've listed off a lot of great options for boards. The best thing I would suggest is if you are just starting out, you're wanting to save as much money, trim as much of the dollars off as possible. Find yourself a hot swap PCB. You can save yourself, anywhere between $20 and $50 for a kind of lower end, cheaper soldering iron, and get yourself something hot swap. Hot swap is definitely great for beginners. I really wish that we had hot swap when we started. That would have I probably would have spent more money, honestly. Less time, but more money on switches and just trying all these different switches, because it's a lot easier to try a bunch of different it's a lot easier to try, like, in one day you can try out 20 different sets of switches. And we've talked about it a lot on the channel about how, I do suggest get a switch tester. That's a good way to weed out a few bad ones, but you're not going to get the full feel of some of them without typing on a full keyboard. Now I don't suggest going out and buying 70 of 10 different switches, because then you're going to wind up with 8 times 560
way too much
switches you're never going to use. But that helps with if you're torn between one or two, or you want to go, hey, I want to have a and a tactile board, you can kind of buy both and just swap them out once a week or something like that. So definitely check out hot swap PCBs. I highly recommend. The KBD fans ones are really good, and then as well, like NK65, I believe, is hot swap.
Yes, it is.
And the Instant 60 which I plan on getting one. I'm just waiting until payday.
There you go. Yeah, as Chewy said, hot swap is awesome. The build that I have right now in my Sirius is hot swap. I built it during the 24-hour stream. I actually changed it out yesterday from Holy Pandas to T1s that I had won at the Dallas meetup, the last Dallas meetup, and the T1s are a thing. They're not my forte, but these are
not my thing, but a thing.
They're the switches, they're okay. I think they're decent. I think they need lube. These are stock. I've been doing this new thing where I've used stock switches for like 2 or 3 months and then I lube them. So I've been trying that out for a while. Also, Dixie, I think the reason why it made you do that is because you tried to sub on mobile. That's the new way it makes you sub on iPhones. That's how they get around the like weird Apple rules. You have to buy coins. So
and yeah, we are streaming during the game. Based on the activity of our sports ball Discord and how there's about 4 people in there, I don't know how much cross community of college, specifically college football, and even more specifically 2 teams of college football are in the community. So we decided to go ahead and
our sports ball channel is basically me, Chewy, Colt, and Dixie. That's about the extent of the sports ball channel. But I did want to answer the Sky is 256K's question. So the PCB does not need to be screwed into the plate for it to work. That you can just use a hot swap PCB on the plate. I will say with the Palm plate, it is a little bit difficult with certain switches. Like I probably spent about 45 minutes trying to get some Zelio V1s in this plate. And the plate just was like, the switches, the little clips that are on the switches to hold the plate were just like, nah, dude, we're not sticking. And so it just kept popping down. And I was like, all right, I give up. I'm just going to use these T1s because I didn't want to put the Holy Pandas back in. But yeah, you just push it in there, make sure it's on a flat surface. So that way you have some pressure against those hot swap sockets and push the switches in and you'll be fine. Just make sure you maintain that separation between the PCB and the plate and you'll be good.
So that, and some people have said, is it bad to kind of leave the PCB suspended and it's just fighting gravity the whole time? One, never really had that issue. I used a hot swap for well over a year. Never had that issue. And 2, if you're really concerned, get some foam. Foam is another, we'll talk about in a second, some kind of accessories that can help increase your liking or disliking of something. But foam will also help keep that in place. So
yeah, I mean, and I've like taken this board to and from work many times with the hot swap and not had any issues of like the PCB like falling off, like, or switches coming out because of that. I do prefer personally soldered in switches. I think Chewy does as well.
Yep.
But sometimes you just want to play around with different things. You just want to have some new switches to play with. You want to try out maybe a new lube combo, which is what I did for my Zelio V1 or V2s that are going in the OSA tomorrow. So I'm excited to talk a little bit more about that tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. So, but that will kind of wrap it up for boards. The only other thing is we have an episode about plates. That's kind of the last thing. Preference. I mean, I'm not going to say that there's anything wrong with aluminum and steel. I prefer brass. That's usually going to cost you probably close to double of the other two. And polycarb's another good one. If I'm giving an honest opinion about just starting, I would go aluminum or steel. Aluminum if you don't want something super duper harsh. Steel if you want to feel like there's a decent bit of resistance. That's not a bad thing. I love a lot of that's just two good ways of kind of figuring out, and those are pretty inexpensive. They're usually in between $15 to $20 a piece. Brass is going to be usually in the mid to high 30s price wise. So brass is probably my favorite with along with steel. I think that's a lot of people's favorite. And then don't fall into the trope that brass is somehow better. It's just more expensive because the material is more expensive.
Yeah, it's the nature of the fact that it's made up of mostly copper. So it's just expensive. Yeah, definitely not better. And don't be afraid to, like, if you get something like a regular tofu, just like the standard tofu, don't be afraid to grab a couple different plates, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Experiment. Grab a polycarb plate, grab a carbon fiber plate. They're not too expensive, and if you can afford a second PCB, then boom, you can just go in and out. If you got a hot swap and a soldered in, you can just trade them in and out. So definitely worth it to just kind of play around with different things and figure out what you really like, because who knows, maybe you love carbon fiber plates and you have no idea because you just haven't tried them yet.
Mm-hmm. So next up, keycaps, specifically keycap profiles. This one's tough because keycaps are expensive. That's the nature of the hobby. I think I can speak for both of us when I say that GMK keycaps are some of the best. They're going to, if you're coming from an OEM board or a lot of other different kind of boards, cherry profile is going to be kind of probably closer to the most comfortable feeling for you. We can kind of say this about a lot of different things, but the absolute best thing you can do is go to a meetup and try a bunch of different things. Take notes. I saw a dude at the Houston meetup taking notes. A great way of testing what you like, keeping your notes down, see what you like, see what you dislike. Don't be afraid to ask. People love, like, something about meetups and just keyboards. People love talking about their keyboards because they spend a lot of time, effort, and money into these things. There's a reason we're sitting here on Twitch talking about keyboards, because we love talking about keyboards. Ask us, ask anybody. They'll give you your opinions. Don't be afraid to go, hey, what profile, what keycap profile, what switches, what caps are those? Because people will tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like you said, everyone wants to talk about their stuff. We spend so much time and money on these boards, so much time waiting for things to come in, so much care in lubing the switches, being just overly meticulous about the build. We want to talk about it, and most people in the community want to talk about it. But as far as keycaps go, one that's really, and I was actually looking at this today, one that's really kind of like sprung up in terms of where you can get solid keycaps, whether it's GMK, SA, DSA, a couple other things. Novel Keys has silently had like right now they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got 4 GMK sets that you can buy base kits of, and they've got the black on white. I almost said white on black on white cubic set, which is up. They have two SA sets, kind of. They have one big SA set and then SA Fluffy Clouds, and then DSA Galactic Empire, which is kind of expensive, but if you're into Star Wars, it's definitely worth it. But it's pretty crazy that they currently have 4 GMK sets that you can get on hand, and it's not originative. Like, that's the other one that's been in stock. So definitely, if you just got in the community and you're like, man, I really want some nice keycaps and I'm willing to put up the money, head on over to Novel Keys, pick yourself up a set of like Metropolis, Lime, Pulse, Boba Fett. Get yourself something nice.
Yeah, WASD's another great one that kind of sprung up randomly.
Oh yeah, that was the one I found the other day.
Yeah, that was like, okay. They have a lot of cool different keycap sets that are in stock, ready to ship. Originative, another great place to find some in stock, ready to ship caps. So the options are growing. You don't have to wait 8 months for your brand new set of GMK. Drop. They do not have a permanent set right now. They are trying as much as they can to stock GMK white on black. So we're seeing more and more, which is great because you do want options. Like it kind of stunk back then. It's like you could either go to Mech Market or join a group buy and wait a long time to sell some GMK keycaps. So it's great to see this. And then back to what we said, excuse me, try and get in these discords. Keycaps are GMK key sets are shipping, a couple sets a month at this point. We're starting to see sets ship, and lots of places are selling extras because we're buying more sets they sell, the more extras they're going to buy. So there are more and more sets that are available to the public through extras buy. So be sure to look out. Dixie has a big, don't directly ask Dixie when extras are coming.
Don't ask any vendor directly when extras are coming.
But there are, you can ask around the Discord, but just if anything, just keep an eye out, keep your eyes peeled, and you'll see when they will go live. Like, if you want your best chances, Instagram, Discord, newsletter, all that good. Check the website daily. I mean, all that good stuff, and you'll be able to catch it. Whether or not you can actually be quick enough to buy it, that's another story. But just try to give yourself the best opportunity.
Yeah, because it's out there, and the thing is we've kind of seen GMK keycaps kind of go down a little bit, I feel, in price. So it might be easy to get something that maybe you didn't think you could get, maybe you couldn't afford when it was in group buy. So definitely check it out. Definitely check out Discords, not only for what they sell in extras, but also for like our Discord for the market. Top Clock Discord has a great market. You can get some really, really cool stuff for pretty inexpensive. You can get some things that, maybe are once in a lifetime for you. Like for me, my orange 75 was kind of like a once in a blue moon thing. And, that's kind of how that happened. I just was on Mech Market one night and then boom, it was there and I bought it the next day.
Right place, right time.
It's how
it's a good feeling. So other than that, if you are getting stuff, what I would highly recommend, we have on our YouTube videos, we have like a shows kind of a lot of our gear. If you plan on building more than one or two boards, or if you kind of go, hey, I might build this board multiple times and just buy a few extra PCBs for it, highly recommend getting a good soldering iron. We both have the Heiko. You can see mine here. It'll run you about $100, but I have not had issues. I've had to replace the tip once because it oxidizes over time. But those are pretty inexpensive. But definitely get yourself a good soldering iron, and then a good little, you probably already have like a little toolkit. I know Osiris and I differ on which ones we prefer, but any good multi-tool, multi-bit set will do. So I mean, check the reviews, ask in the Discord, and you'll happily be pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, basically you just want to make sure it has different sizes of Phillips heads, different sizes of hexes, and then you're probably pretty okay from there. But yeah, I don't know if you necessarily need a desoldering iron. I know they're super useful, but it is kind of frivolous if you're starting out. The little pumps are pretty fine for a long time. I know Chewy just recently used a FR301 for the first time.
It's expensive. If you are just someone that has a complete amount of just a crap load of money and don't mind spending it, and you also plan on desoldering a bunch of boards, by all means, I can't recommend it enough. But it is an expensive, it is a very expensive tool, and for the kick, it's life changing. I was able to desolder 3 boards in one night. It felt great. It had me contemplating, but then at the end of the day, I was like, honestly, like, really the best thing is like get in with like 3 or 4 people that live close if you're lucky. Just
Yeah.
like go on it one together.
We've talked about buying one just for the channel.
Just for the two of us, but it's fantastic. You can find other, but the little pumps are good. The one that I used that had the most luck with, I've got on the YouTube channel. And if you just any video, you'll see like the list. So they'll have it just takes more time, and it's a lot more like pump. Your thumbs might be sore by the end of it, but
yeah. I mean that's it's one of those things. If you're planning to desolder a lot, maybe look into getting a desolder iron. If you're just doing every once in a while, pump should be fine.
Yep.
It's gonna take a while. You're gonna hate your life for a little bit, but then you'll be okay because you'll have a new board after it. So,
and honestly, I would get a pump anyway because there's like if I'm building a board and then I need to like change a switch position or the solder just didn't go correctly, it's way easier than being like, okay, let me get the whole. It's big and it's
also very loud.
Yeah, and so it's just like a quick. This is all you need. So
yeah.
But yeah. So other than that, I mean, decent workspace. I would get yourself like a burner mat, like I have, or just even. It doesn't have to be these fancy pads. It could just be something that it's going to get dirty. You're going to get solder everywhere. So just a nice little workspace, or even, I mean, heck, you could use like parchment. Don't use parchment paper because it'll set on fire. But like,
it's like, where are you going with that one?
But like, just something. It's just something that you don't mind getting messy.
Maybe some old towels.
Yeah, old towels will work. You can find little like workstations. I know IMEURU, Apiary both use the same kind of these little. It's got like spots for screws and everything. It's pretty dope. So just check one of those things out. It's definitely a useful tool.
Man said parchment. True. Yeah, those little rubberized things, they're pretty cool, and they also stay put on your desk because of what the material they're made out of. But yeah. And then once you get all that stuff, then you're ready to go. You're just like now I'm ready to pour my money into the hobby and then wait.
Yep.
And then
I'll say once a lot of stuff comes in, it feels great.
It does. It does feel great, but that's the other thing. When you're new in the hobby, be prepared to wait. Be prepared to buy something and not expect it to take as long as it does. Just mentally prepare yourself for that because it's going to happen whether you like it or not. Everything takes longer than it typically should, or that says it does. Yeah, just
buy and forget. That's
a
terrible way of, but honestly, that's kind of how it is sometimes. This hobby is a bit of a sinkhole. Be prepared to spend some money, especially it's addictive because then when you find one thing and then you're like, oh man, that next thing looks so great, or oh, that board came out and then that board would look so sick with those caps, and then you're like, all right, well now I'm planning a new build. So be smart with your money. That's why I suggest hot swap. If you've got, let's say your let's say your Sirius is like your in-game end-all be-all board, and you're like, I'm gonna spend a chunk of money, get a couple plates, a couple PCBs. Get yourself a hot swap board. If you don't mind spending a little extra cash, get yourself a hot swap, try out a bunch of switches, because I will say desoldering, if you're not 100% careful, you'll screw up a pad, and then you have to learn how to fix that, which can be annoying. A lot of my PCBs, because I've desoldered a bunch of times, have wires going everywhere. So definitely, like we said, hot swap boards, like if you don't mind spending a little bit extra to make sure your end game is perfect, definitely try get the stuff that you need to find your end game, so you're not constantly soldering and desoldering. But if you're someone who likes to tinker like us and like to try a bunch of different new things, space it out. You don't need to buy 9 tofus and 15 different GMK keycap sets to figure out what you like. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know, but space it out. Try not to get on too many group buys at one time, and just do your research. Be careful.
Yep. Exactly. Well, I think that's going to kind of wrap it up on what to buy first. If anyone has questions for us, please feel free to @Mechs on Deck in the chat. Tomorrow, again, I will be here at 8 p.m. Central Time, so an hour before now. I will be going live building my OSA, which is a Alice-style aluminum board. Chewy built his a couple months ago. We have 2 of the 3 gray boards in existence. Well, technically 4, but
working
3.5. I think we have the only 2 in America. I think the third one is Kev in Europe. So
there you go.
So I think we have.
And they're both in the greater Dallas Fort Worth area.
What about lube? We did not talk about lube.
We didn't talk about lube. Switchmod.net/Mechs on Deck and get you 4% off.
Dude, just get in all honesty, just
get a tub. I am still working on my tubs.
Well, no, here's the thing. I think he's sold out right now of lube. Whenever he restocks on lube, get the Spesh. It's $28. You get 4% off. Don't know how much that is. Can't math my head that easy. It gives you 3 mils of 3204, 3 mils of 205 grade 0, 5 mils of 3203. Pick that up.
Yeah, dude. I would recommend the first things first. 205 grade 0. That's the first lube you should buy. Because especially if you're a linear person, if you go, then you go, I want linear switches, 205 grade 0, because you need them for stabs. Stabs, there's a lot of different options. We plan on going over because we've exponentially grown on stabs in the recent months. With the options, which is great. We love to see options. But we preach it. Everybody else preaches it. 205 grade 0 on the stabs are amazing. And then 205 grade 0 on switches are after I felt, I did 3204 on my creams, and then I felt Osiris's with 205, his novel or Nolive creams. Same thing, different color. He lubed them that way, and then I came home and I tried one I re-lubed it with 205 grade 0. I was like, this is smoother. It's just better. So you're going to want to pick up that. And then, yeah, definitely the other 2, 3204, good tactile, make it extremely smooth, lose a smid. It's really good for extremely tactile switches. 3203, if you're wanting maximum tactility with good switch fixing as well.
Yeah. Yep. And play around with it. Find what you like. Some people like super light lube. Some people like a little bit thicker lube. Figure out what you like. Just like anything else in this hobby. Try it out. Figure it out. Have fun with it.
I like that thick boy.
He likes the thick boy. So Racing Giraffe asks, any keyboard related purchases that you regret? I'm going to exclude group buys that haven't shipped because I think that'd be super easy to say M01.
I would regret it if I had it. 67 gram Zelio V1s.
Wait, you mean these?
Yes. I'm pretty sure I gave those to you.
Yeah.
I guess the Zephyr would probably be my biggest regret. I mean, I wound up making my money back on it, and I wound up getting my TX60 for it, so I'm not like. But as you can see, I'm really broken up about it.
I feel like that was a huge disappointment though for you, because you were like super stoked when you first got it. Like that was another stay up till.
Oh God!
Wake up early in the morning and try to get it and try to.
Yeah, I was up at 2 a.m. Well, you know what's funny is I backed out of the Koyu so that I could get once I found out about the Zephyr sale. I was like,
I
all right,
remember that.
back out of the Koyu. And whether what's funny is if I had stayed in the Koyu, then I'd be sitting here preaching about how much I hate 65% like well into before getting shipped to the Koyu. But although I probably would have just sold it to you. But it's I don't, as much as I regret it, I also like the fact that I was able to really find out like, hey, I don't like 65% and I don't think that this is the right option for me. And I also don't like certain things about certain boards. So it was really a big learning experience. So um purchase, I don't know, it's tough to like regret a purchase
Yeah,
because I feel like I've used everything.
I mean, but I feel like the Zephyr is a good one. I feel like that's a great answer to the question because in this hobby, when everything is so like fluid, like you could buy something and then sell it for what you bought it for. Like there was a disappointment there. Like you were really excited about that board, you got it, you're like, oh, this is cool, and then you're like, never mind, it's not cool. Um, and then you sold it, got something that you want to keep for a long time.
Probably forever, I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
But
So for me, I don't really have one as much. Not, I don't know. I guess I could say,
you're way more stingy on what you buy though.
yeah, I'm not. I also don't really sell a lot of things. Um, I haven't really sold as much Chewy. This is Chewy versus Osiris. Like day one, every hobby, Chewy would buy guitars, sell guitars, get other guitars. Just wanted to try the whole rainbow.
Yep.
Magic cards, Chewy would pull them, be like, I'm taking this to the I'm taking this up there, selling it now. I'm like, I'm gonna wait.
I'm gonna wait and see what happens, and then
Lose all
lose
my
money.
money. But I would say that probably my first and only thing that I regret would be, I'm gonna say DSA Legacy, just because of how much I spent on it.
Mhm.
Um, it's a set that I haven't used for a while. I did use it at work for a little bit. Um, for me, it's more key sets. It's DSA Legacy and the SA Pink on or Purple on White. Um, they're great sets. Like DSA Legacy is a awesome looking set. GMK Pulse did decently well. Same colorway, just in a different profile. And SA Pulse, same thing. Um, I just when I look back on it, and I was actually looking at Chewy and I's like invoice back and forth when I sent Chewy some birthday presents the other day, and I saw the where I had sent you some money to get me some kits of DSA Legacy, and I was like, I cannot believe that I paid that much for this set.
Hmm.
It was like I think I paid almost like $180 for everything that I got. And I'm just like, I don't even use it anymore. Like it's just sitting in bags. So I think that's my biggest regret is that set, which I do need to get rid of. So if you want to buy DSA Legacy, let me know.
Hit 'em up.
But yeah.
I do have a regret. I've completely forgot about this board. So Sundance McGee. My initial answer was the Zephyr. But while I guess my change is the fact that I only learned like one thing from this regret. Where the Zephyr, I feel like I learned a lot. That was kind of a big step up. I learned a lot from building that board. I learned a lot what to expect on certain price points. Like that was a very big learning experience, and I really liked it. My biggest regret was getting a blue Clippa.
Oh, I remember that.
I I liked the color, and then I just could not match anything to it. I thought it never looked good. I'm sure there are more sets now that you could totally match with it, but I had a gray Clippa, and then or I had a blue Clippa, then I got rid of the blue one because I was just like, I don't. I just wanted a Clippa because the tofu wasn't even out yet.
Hmm.
And then on top of that, I took a huge loss on. I think that's the only thing I've taken a big loss on was the Clippa because I had a blue one, and then the tofu came out, and then the Clippa dropped in price on Mech Market rapidly.
Yeah, I remember
So
that because you were right around our first meetup. You were trying to get rid of that, and it was when you had a
well, I was
GMK
trying to. I had
Nautilus.
already gotten rid of the board. I was trying to get rid of Nautilus, and it kind of like every time I see that picture, I'm like, it was cool for like a little bit. Like it was cool, but then I was just like, I'm not that big of a fan of blue. Like I like the color blue, but like they're kind of mismatched
Yeah,
and just So
yeah.
I learned that I like gray boards.
I think I think instead of regrets, I have more things that I regret not buying than actually buying. Like so many missed opportunities to purchase things um, that looking back I now really like. Um, but I think that's just the nature of as you grow in the hobby, um, your tastes change, things that you like change. Um, it's funny because around this time last year, I was like bugging Chewy every day about how I wanted GMK Olivia, and now I didn't even get round two. Like,
Yep. I mean, I sold GMK Olivia.
yeah.
So
So
my biggest regret with like selling caps, and I'm probably not going to get GMK Burgundy, but I do like GMK Burgundy. I thought it looked really good on like a nice gray board. But at the end of the day, I'm just kind of like, whatever. Like, I try not to regret too much, and I try not to trying to get rid. Like, if I lost camping, I would be devastated. Like, I'd be able to find it, but I would be devastated. So,
yeah.
Rick, you have it. So,
Any other questions in the chat
yeah,
for us?
let us know.
Again, like I said, I'll be streaming tomorrow night a build of the Osa, Gray Osa with Zelio V2s and GMK Waves. It's going to be pretty freaking sexy. So come hang out tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we have a little bit of a turn from what our normal guests are. We will have Jay from the Overwatch League team, the Toronto Defiant. He is the general manager. So we're going to be talking about kind of how he got into the community, um, expectations for like esports and how custom keyboards can come in to the hobby. Mr. Petrov, that is no longer happening next week. We had double booked ourselves without realizing it. I had booked this one with Jay back in December, and Chewy booked HR Co. And we didn't realize that until after the stream last Wednesday. But yeah, he is the general manager of the Toronto Defiant, very into keyboards, very new into keyboards as well. I think he's only been in the hobby for a little over a year. So excited to talk to him about keyboards, Overwatch, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. So while we're on beginner stuff, what advice did you guys get when you were starting out that turned out to be really, really? I don't know if I had. I think mine. If I got advice, I didn't listen to it. It was just like get stuff, try it. Like you can go that way. I've talked about it before, where it's like a big reason of where I know what I like so much, and I'm very specific on like this is exactly what I like, and if it's not this, then I don't like it. Um, it's just trial and error. Just a lot of nights building keyboards, a lot of hours typing on keyboards and gaming. Um, but yeah, I guess my one biggest piece of advice is seems like a cop out. Just go to a meetup, try stuff, and really focus on what you like and don't like about things. But then specifically the don't like someone might grab a 67 gram and a 78 gram Zelio. I'm like, no, like really think about, spend time with, and really think about what you like and don't like, and then focus on that, and just don't be afraid to try stuff as well.
Yeah. I I don't think there was anything for me either. I kind of just bought a Tada 68 on a whim and then got Chewy on it, and I just kind of like I looked up things, but I didn't like make a Geek Hack account, post on things, ask questions. I didn't really do that. So I think my just to I'm gonna say yes to what Chewy said. Definitely do that. Go to a meetup, but just to do something different, I would say don't be afraid to get involved in Discords. Get involved in the community. Like, this community is awesome. There's tons of people. You can make some great friends. Like, even just for Chewy and myself, we've made great friends that we met at meetups that turned into other friends with other people. Like, Rick and Moon. Like, we like to joke about not about
Not liking them.
not liking them, but they've become good friends. Mick knows a lot of the guys that are in the area here that we've drifting bunnies that we've become a little bit closer to through um, just getting involved in the community, um, getting into Discords, talking to people, getting involved in Twitch channels, whether it's ours or Top Clack or Nathan Kim or Apiary or any of the other tons of boards that are tons of streamers that are out there. Get involved in their community. Just get involved somehow, talk to people, ask questions, and I think that's kind of um, that's the best way for someone like Rayantic says. What if your area doesn't have meetups? I think that's what you do. You get involved.
Yep.
So
So, and one thing I guess, I've talked about it before. I really, Osiris kind of got me on my first board, but I would say I really deep dove into the community through 001 Anthony's stream. And I met a lot of cool people on there, and I talked to the Discord a lot. I was very fortunate that I lived close to 001 Anthony, and was able to try out some stuff over there as well. But um, whether I recommend this or not, I guess I view it as a lot of what he said I took to heart, and I was like, okay, like this guy has been doing it more than I do. Clearly, he knows what he's talking about. Most people that are streaming, most people, at least I hope, are not going to lead you astray. Um, we'll tell you, if we tell you something's good, that doesn't necessarily mean it's good, but there might be a good chance that it is. It's a good starting point. If Nathan, I mean, look at Nathan Kim said, "Oh, by the way, like I think people are really missing out on these ink switches. Like these are a great switch." Guess what? They wound up being a great switch. Like it's one of those things. Um, so people, these are people that are really into the hobby, that are spending a lot of money, spending money you don't have to try out things and stuff like that. So it's not like we're making baseless comments on products because we're trying to sell something or make something or whatever. It's coming from experience, and it's honestly just coming from like, hey, I like this. So if you're someone who tries something and it's relatively similar to something I like or something Osiris likes, you know, don't be afraid to ask us, hey, what else do you like with this? What else do you like? And Japanese Horror Writer, thank you for the 1,000 bits. And welcome to first place on the bit board.
just barely, just barely.
It's a fight.
But yeah, it's one of those things like finding a community that fits um your preferences as you learn and you grow. You might find, okay, well, I'm more in tune with what Chewy likes. Maybe I hate 65% rather than what maybe Nathan Kim likes, or what Brian from Top Clack likes, or Jay. Like, each one of us have our own preferences, and you can kind of, oh my gosh, Japanese writer, thank you for the
Increasing
2,000 bits.
Thank you, bud.
Appreciate it, my dude. But yeah, that's one of those things. As you grow and you become part of the community, you will learn how maybe one person that is a content creator or is someone in the community, maybe they have the same mentality as you or the same preferences as you, and you can go to them and see kind of what they think, and um, that'll help you kind of formulate your own opinions without necessarily having to put money down for things.
Yep.
So
another advice is don't think you have to spend a lot to flex in order to be respected in the community. Yeah, and the whole respect thing's a little goofy. Like we even talked about it. Like this is like day one of discussions of Mechs on Deck. It's like no one's gonna listen to us if we just have like little beginner boards. Like it's sad, but it's true. You know, like a lot of people won't listen to you unless you have a lot of experience with different boards. Um, but you know, respect in the community, I think a lot. You know, if you put yourself in a Discord, like someone who I hold very highly in our Discord is Colt. Colt is not someone who owns a lot of fancy, nice freaking boards. He's got I know he was stuck on the Prionic for a long time, and he's got a Lubricante. Those aren't like hard flex TGR key Colt boards, but he's someone I definitely value their opinion a lot. He's one of the best switch lubers I've ever felt. And Osiris Osiris gives him like a run for his money. Osiris is an amazing switch luber, and
okay.
I think Colt. I think you did a great job. I think Colt did the best job I think I've ever felt on someone lubing switches, and you know that's someone where I'm like he doesn't need to flex to have a board that feels great. So if you buy me a Red Dragon, I will. But you know, the respect in the community thing, yeah, like you might get more likes. You might, if you go, I guess maybe if you're going, oh, I want to tell you and try and learn you something, then it's like, well, what do you know? Like, I kind of get that aspect, but you don't need to own a TGR. Neither of us own a TGR key Colt, and we're still sitting here talking like we know it, talking like we know a thing or two about keyboards.
Like Axot says, it's modesty, because it's one of those things. It's like just because you own this super high end board, or just because you own something that there's only 5 of or 10 of, it's an FE or something, and you got it, doesn't mean you're any better than anyone else. Just because we sit here and we talk about keyboards doesn't mean we are any better than anyone else in this community, or that we necessarily deserve more respect than anyone else. We're just regular ass dudes who like
two
keyboards.
dudes in beards sitting around talking about keyboard. Like I mean, when it comes to like neither of us have like these really any like crazy high end boards. We have private buy boards, which might be seen as
dude,
which might be seen as something super duper high end. But you want to get on a private buys, hop in Discords, talk to people, befriend everybody.
Absolutely. And so what this guy is 256K says, I feel like a lot of people have that same thought of like, if I just have a Tina, if I just have a Tada, am I really like a community member? And yes, you are. It doesn't matter. I think there are some people that maybe say, oh, well, you don't have this, so you're not really cool. Who cares? Like, we're talking about keyboards.
Yeah, we're all nerds.
Yeah.
As SM Keeps, we do have a buyer's guide where we did like certain prices. I can rattle one off for you right now if you give me a price point.
It's probably true.
If you give me a number, I will tell you the best option in my opinion of what to get. So if you decide to ask that $5, can't do anything there for you there, bud. Sorry.
Go to Goodwill, buy something
Goodwill
there.
Get lucky. So sorry, a realistic price point. But real quick, if you decide to ask that question, by all means, ask it. Just tag it. We're going to go through our sponsors real quick. You can go to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com to pick up GMK Burgundy Round 2. Great set. Be sure to check it out. Don't miss it, as it is it's a round 3 set for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And then next up, we've got Zap Cables. You can go to zapcables.com, check them out. They are changing up their the way they do things around there. So they're going to have some in-stock cables starting later this year. Also, check out their desk mats. They got some really cool stuff over there. So head on over and check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, our newest sponsor, Project Keyboard. It's got a Win Keyless Series right now. You can go get right now, shipped to you probably in the next week or so. Um, so be sure to check that out, as well as the Tengu, which is an Alice style layout keyboard with gasket mounts. It is in group buy right now. That will not ship within the next week, but I imagine it will, if all goes correctly. Knock on wood, we'll be here at some point in 2020. So.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, you have switchmod.net/Mechs on deck. Typically, you can go there to get lube. You get 4% off using that code for anything they have in stock. Does not apply to group buys, but they've got some extras on the altar mats, some stickers, as well as some DCS keycaps. Should be restocking lube soon, so be on the lookout for that, as well as Metaverse Round 2 or V2. It's a little bit different than Round 1, so check out Metaverse. It starts up on Saturday the 18th, and be sure to tune into our Discord because we'll be releasing a discount code that will get you $5 off, not 5%, $5 off Metaverse R2, which is very unique. You can get $5 off, which you can add to that $5 keyboard fund you've got going there, Sky, and make it $10. So definitely come check us out on Discord. We will post the links for that. Like we said, it's going to be kind of a Chewy versus Osiris. The buyers decide which one do they want to support, Chewy or Osiris. We will possibly be giving away some sets of Metaverse. Just depends on how many are sold. So yeah, definitely go check that out.
Other than that, SM Keeves did not respond. If you would like, PM me in Discord or PM Osiris and we can talk. But yeah, so who's live? Who is live? No one that we follow. And if we don't follow you, that is yours truly not following a lot of people on accident.
Hey, you know what? If we can find someone. We can find someone. Maybe we'll go for a normie streamer. Maybe we'll send you over to a normie streamer coming from a keyboard stream. It's doing not what what Twitch was designed for. Maybe we can send you to one of my personal favorites.
There you go.
And send you on over. So we're gonna send you on over to someone who it is an Overwatch streamer, one of my favorite streamers. His name is J3. He used to go by the name Jesus, but now it's just J3. So go check him out. Spam some horns in the chat, the horn emote. So we're going to raid. Let's see if I can do this right. Raid J3.
And yeah, guys, once again, we are looking for someone to make Dixie slap at the bass emote. So PM us, show us what you got.
Yeah, hit him up with that slap of the bass.
Slap at the bass.
All right.
So,
well, we are good to go. Y'all have a good night, and we will see you again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Time. Bye now.
Bye, Switch Tester. Missed it.